Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to Intermediate Music Theory video number 12. In this video, we're going to talk about the dominant 7 chord, what its function is, how it's created, what makes it sound the way it does. And we're also going to discuss how to give yourself the opportunity to use it in a minor key, because in a minor key, the 5 chord should be a minor chord. But if we do this one alteration we're going to talk about, we'll be able to use a dominant chord. So first things first, the dominant chord resolves up. I mean, you could resolve down too, it doesn't matter. Up sounds a lot stronger. For some reason, just sonically, when you resolve up, sounds better. Okay, the dominant goes up a fourth to the 1 chord in a major key, of course. Well, what makes it sound that way is you're adding the 7th. Well, when you add the 7th to the 5 chord, what you then have is the 5, 7, 9, 11, or 2, 4. However you want to look at that. 9, 11 going up, but it's the same notes as 2 and 4. But remember, the 7 chord is diminished, right? So 5, 6, 7. 7's your third of this chord. So then once you add the 7th to the 5 chord, the upper 3/4 of that chord is a diminished chord. Diminished chord pushes very hard towards 1. So this dominant chord's got 2 things going for it. 5, for whatever reason, 5 already pushes pretty hard to 1. And then you add that diminished portion to it, and it really, really wants to resolve to 1. It sounds awesome when you do. It sounds very final, very strong, especially when you put the 1 way up there too. But, so the way it's, constructed is just, it's the 5 chord plus its 7th and resolves nicely to 1, okay? And the dominant has that diminished portion, which gives it the dominant sound. I mean, it's the idea of dominance, a very strong thing in music, is like dominant. You're just like, yeah, I know what that sound's supposed to be. Okay, so then the next thing I wanted to talk about with these is the other resolutions you can do. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I don't know if, depending on what order you're going to watch stuff in, if you would have caught this yet. So the dominant resolves to 1 generally, but you can resolve it to 6 or 3. And the reason it resolves to those 2 chords really well is the 3 chord is 2/3 the same notes as the 1 chord. The 6 chord is 2/3 the same notes as the 1 chord as well. So resolving that dominant to 3 or to 6 isn't going to be a jarring sound. It's actually going to kind of make some sense to go to those notes. It doesn't offer the same finality, but it's going to make quite a bit of sense sonically, and it allows you to take different turns musically, because once you go from here to here, it feels like something is ending. When you go from here to there, it sounds a little more like something's beginning, like you're taking a turn somewhere else. So that's kind of why you would use the dominant to the 6 or to the 3, is to be able to take a turn or to extend a passage and just keep kind of going, but have that chord in there. That's kind of a little bit of trickery, thinking, oh, it's going to end. Oh no, we're going to keep going. All right. So now in a minor key, how do you end up with a dominant? Well, this is where harmonic minor comes into play, or kind of why it was invented to begin with, is you raise the 7 in your minor key, which the 7th scale degree is the 3rd of your 5 chord. So if you raise that thing, you went from now having a minor chord to a major chord, and the 7th of that chord's already a minor 7th, giving you a dominant that resolves now to that minor 1. Okay? Now, same rules apply, that you could resolve it to the 3 of your minor key or the 6 of your minor key. It's just going to be different chords in this case. Now it's going to sound a bit different. For example, the 6 in a minor key is a major chord, as opposed to the minor chord it was in the major key. So you'd be doing that number. You may have heard that in some songs. So that's how you start getting these sounds and these ideas, you know. But that's really all I want to cover in this video is the dominant chord, how it works in major keys and how it's invented in minor keys and what its purpose is. So there you go, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.